Well, good morning, good afternoon, or maybe good evening, everybody. It's Rob Appell from So Well, but I am out at, let me show you my favorite shirt here, Stitchin Heaven. I am in Quitman, Texas, and it's a Sunday. It's a beautiful rainy morning, and boy, yesterday was wild and crazy here. It was the outdoor quilt show, and I've got a wonderful little recap video I'm about to share with all of you. But I just also wanted to bring you here for this beautiful, peaceful, rainy morning. The temperature has dropped. I've been drinking coffee on the porch of one of these beautiful little cottages where I get to stay when I come out here. The big, beautiful retreat center's in the background, and I'm just feeling so blessed to have been able to be part of yesterday's incredible quilt show. Not only was the weather very nice, there was a little bit of wind, but we were a little worried about rain, and it didn't happen until last night, right? But the quilts were beautiful. They were on display. I love looking at quilts outside because of the way that the sunlight affects them. But even more special for me was I met several folks here at the quilt show that were looking at quilts because they were interested in learning to quilt. They hadn't quilted, hadn't done any patchwork yet, and their friends and their family had brought them out to show them the quilts. And folks, this is what is so special about being part of the quilting community. For every new quilter that joins us, we have the potential to have somebody amazing become a quilter, and we can all learn from them. I mean, who could possibly be the next Angela Walters or Christina Camilli or Charisma Horton? My friend I met yesterday, she wants to become a long arm quilter. Has just got herself a fantastic machine. So I'm just feeling so very inspired and blessed to be part of this awesome quilt shop here in Quitman, Texas. Make sure that you join us next year for our outdoor quilt show in person, but enjoy today's video, a little recap of what happened yesterday. Hey friends, how exciting is this? I know it's a little windy, so the audio is going to be a little bit rough, but standing in the park in Quitman, Texas, just around the corner from the beautiful shop, Stitchin Heaven, where I'm blessed to get to work, but they're having their annual outdoor quilt show. Uh-oh, here's my dear friend Anita. Look at this.
Hey
this
guys.
is awesome. This is so beautiful out
It
here,
is.
And the temperature couldn't be better.
The wind is blowing, you know,
Right?
it's nice to breathe.
What do we have, about 100 quilts hanging?
About 98, I think.
98, because Rob forgot 2 of them. True story. We'll get to that in a little bit. This is awesome. So let me give you all a little tour here and walk you around and look at some of these beautiful quilts here. This is really special. It's also the 26th anniversary of the Stitchin Heaven quilt shop. So this is a really special weekend for us. They've been having a big sale online and in the shop, and incorporating now this quilt show as well. So lots of wonderful events happening this year still. So make sure you're following along so that you are posted with our calendar and stuff. But let's get into these quilts, folks. Yes, and let's start with what most people don't usually show, which is the back. And this is the fun thing about being, 2 fun things about being at an outdoor show. One is the lighting. So you can see the different stitching because the way the sunlight hits everything. And then secondly is the quilts are generally hung in a 3-dimensional fashion so that you can see the backs as well as the beautiful fronts of the quilts. And then the other neat thing is the way the sunlight shows through. It makes them look like they're beautiful stained glass pieces, and you can see some of the patchwork inside of the quilts and things. It's just an interesting way to display quilts. I love being at outdoor shows, and really, really beautiful work. These are quilts that are provided from the locals in the community, some of the employees, some of the teachers and educators that are here. Ooh, I see a few of mine hanging on the line. Let's see if we can get those pictured for all of you there. So the red wolf there is one I created a long time ago, part of an endangered species quilt project. And the tropical ones. Ooh, look at that one though. I keep saying there's one thing that I like about being at outdoor quilt shows, and then there's like, I'm on number 5 already. But you don't see quilts at a distance like this. I mean, what are we, 40 foot away? Look at that. Oh, wow. That is fabulous. Look at that. And folks, what you're seeing, in my best opinion here, is incredible control of color and piecing. But now for those of you who may be seeing quilting for some of the first time, as extraordinary as it looks, it is quite simply constructed. So I want you to be not intimidated by the actual craftsmanship that's gone into it. It's well done patchwork, squares and straight line quilting, beautiful fabric choices, of course. Are you the official quilt control? Out of the control, right? Right. Hi there, good morning. This fun one right here is one I designed a while ago. That's the Cocoa Star quilt, named after the fabric line that was used. But the star blocks in there are actually using the Bobby template, my new Super 60 set, and the Bobby is becoming available as a standalone template. But when I was talking a bit about it looking like stained glass, so the color right now is a little washed out in the quilt because the sun's shining through it from the back. And I just love the way it kind of accents the seam allowances and all of that. So that's what I was referring to earlier about the kind of stained glass effect. Kind of fun. And if you haven't seen some of my other silly quilts, there's my gears, Coming Home, which is the eagle, and then the Twizzleman project, which we don't talk about very often because I love it and everyone else thinks it's quite odd, and that's okay. I'm just gonna grab this quilt real quick because I've been talking recently in the free motion quilting on the black Texas Starlight quilt. You see how this artist is adding in the different colors of threads, blues and reds, throughout the quilt. And when this quilt behaves itself and isn't blowing in the wind, at a distance you can see there's a little bit of a shading difference that is affected by the colors of threads used within the white or the background. And that's why I'm using black on my quilt, because I don't want to affect the hue of the quilt in different areas. But that's exactly what I was referring to. Hopefully you can see that okay at home. Quilts come in all shapes and sizes, all colors and all fashions. It's one of the things I think I love most about the art form of quilting is people can express themselves in all different ways. And for me, I like the use of contrasting colors, and I think this quilt here is a good example of that, because the way that the individual colors really pop so that you can see the checkerboards or the diamonds or the stars throughout the project. I like these high contrast quilts. And in contrast to that, something like this over here in more of the muted tones here is still a lovely quilt, but a lot more subtle, a lot more soothing. As you can see, beautifully done, colors matched great. And you still see enough contrast that you can see the stars, but it's just not as in your face as the high contrast patchworks that I'm generally trying to go for and achieve. QuiltWorks quilts are always showstoppers. These are absolutely amazing. We have a lot of kits available at Stitchin Heaven for these, a lot of workshops, certified shop we are, and that's really exciting because the effort and work that goes into these Judy Niemeyer quilts are amazing. If you haven't learned how to do these, you might want to consider taking a retreat or workshop here at Stitchin Heaven. Great place to learn. Coming down after a beautiful day. OSHA approved quilt removal. All right, hit it.